My participation in this happened because Jim happened to be visiting my office, and I mentioned to him that we'd acquired a few new titles dealing with Ket language in Russian. And he said, oh, well, we have this workshop coming up. Why don't you talk to us about what kind of holdings you have that can contribute to our area of study? I should tell you a little bit about the Alaskan Polar Regions collections at the Rasmuson Library. It dates back, probably 30 years now. Its focus is obviously all of Alaska, and then we say polar regions. It includes Antarctica, and in the northern hemisphere, I think the original concept was to everything north of the Arctic Circle, but thinking about it culturally, that didn't really make sense, so really we take in most of the taiga, at least the northern and probably the central area of the taiga in Siberia, and the northern boreal forest in North America. Most of our collections dealing with the Siberian part of it are, of course, in Russian, some in German. We collect contemporary titles. Our rare book collection has many of the early Siberian explorers, their travel narratives in Russian, French, German. We have many early maps in our rare map collection, some of which show ethnic distributions. But in our book collection, we concentrate primarily on monographs and including dictionaries in that title. And when I did a search on the word Ket, Kets, and Dene-Yenisieian, I came up with 33 monographs that we have dealing with that. I've compiled a list of them. I've made a couple dozen copies, so you can pick up a list if you prefer, or you can give me your email address. I can email it to you. What I noticed right after I printed this, I also searched the word Keti, and I came up with a couple additional titles, but also Keti also refers to a particular species of salmon. So you will notice that you'll also get some salmon hits that way. So beware. You'll notice if you look down at the keywords, you'll see that you'll see if you're dealing with fish or people. We are continuing to collect in this area. Besides these 33 titles that involve Ket and Dene-Yensieian, we have many, many works dealing their conference proceedings, their collections of papers, and many of the papers that are cited in Dr. Vida's 2001 bibliography are in our collections. You won't find them searching under keywords because they're more general works. They include articles on many different topics dealing with northern peoples. But if you look at Dr. Vida's bibliography, get your main title of the book, you'll find that many of them are in our collection. Our collection focuses on monographs. We also have a large periodical collection, both physically and then increasingly online. If you look at our library catalog, the Goldmine catalog, you will find a number of periodical titles, but not all of the periodicals to which we have electronic access are in that catalog. You have to click on the UAF journals list, and you'll find many more periodicals that are available to you that you have full electronic access to, or in some cases, access to a set number of years. So I think if you are using our library resources, you'll find many of the works that you'll need for this topic. We also have an excellent interlibrary loan program, so if you, for some reason, cannot find something in our collection, you can go through that. The earlier Russian titles, we're missing a number of the earlier Russian titles because we were not actively collecting and specifically focusing on Ket. I mean, we focused on Siberian peoples, specifically the small population peoples. But now that we're looking for Ket, it's something I can actively search for. I'm trying to think of what else I was going to say. So the earlier Ket titles, we are searching for them, but many of the Russian publications are published only in small press runs. and so they're sometimes difficult to find. And some of our Russian book vendors, bless their hearts, will put a title on their website letting us think that it's available, and then we never get the book. I've got 3 titles that have been on order since September, and I have no idea whether they're going to get them or not. But it is something that we're actively pursuing. Now, the Alaska Native Language Center Archive has traditionally collected the gray literature, people's conference papers and such, and also specifically offprints of periodical articles. The Rasmuson Library collection does not collect these materials. We focus on published monographs and dictionaries, because it's just impossible to catalog all of this small stuff and then have all these little tiny things on the shelves. The Alaska Native Language Archive is going to move over to the Rasmuson Library in the course of this summer, and we hope that they will continue to collect the gray literature, and we will be kind of a one-stop place once they move over and join us. Other than that, I also should say that if you're looking for specific articles, sometimes they're hiding in unusual places. This last fall, someone asked me about the works of Matthias Katherine, and said, you know, we didn't have them, and he had to borrow them on interlibrary loan, and well, we have the collected works of Katherine, and they are hiding in there. So if you can't find something, first check just the author's name and see if we happen to have their collected works. Sometimes things are lurking in places you don't expect. And finally, I just want to put in a plug for those of you who are training future researchers. Have them learn Russian or German and French and as many languages as they can, because we might have wonderful Russian collections, but if no one can read the language, it doesn't do them any good at all. They can look at the pictures. You can say, well, things are getting translated. Yes, some things are translated, but not everything's translated, and you cannot always rely on a translation. So this is just a plug for Americans are notoriously reluctant to learn foreign languages, but please encourage your students to at least pick up Russian and or German. So that's really all I have to say.